Hey everyone, it's now almost 2 o'clock. I have my afternoon cup of coffee. Should I keep that in the video or no?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were doing it.
Hey everyone, Lauren from A Girl on Her Wool here. Today is Wednesday, April 22nd, and I am going to do another day in the life vlog today. I took off today from my regular job. I also took off yesterday, so I got a lot of dyeing done yesterday, so we'll be packaging up some orders. I also have a ton more yarn to dye. I have a current backlog of Etsy orders or not a backlog, just like a lot of outstanding orders from Etsy and then our trunk show. So if you haven't checked out the trunk show, you still have time. It goes through May 2nd. You'll have missed out on giveaways by the time this posts most likely, but you still have time to shop and support my local yarn shop by shopping at aknitsheep.com. And so I'm getting a lot of those orders out today. And then I plan to also continue just chugging along on everything I have outstanding. I might record a project post today. I'm not sure because I haven't been making a ton of progress. But I basically have the same projects I've been working on. So I might do some project planning video. We'll see. So yeah, join me on my day. Maybe 2 rows, maybe a row and a half. I had to keep going to save the Roomba from self-destruction, and I don't know. I don't know. Didn't get so much quiet time this morning. Anyway, I am now at my computer. I'm going to eat. I have my breakfast here, which is a lovely bowl of oatmeal. And I'm going to, I don't have a placemat, so I'm using a piece of paper. And I have my coffee. I had about 1 sip of coffee, so you can't see, and I don't want it to spill. So I'm going to drink my coffee, eat some breakfast, and do some work on the computer. Usually I don't do this, and I usually eat breakfast in the kitchen and just continue to either read or look up news articles or play on my phone, whatever, go through Instagram. But today I have a couple of things I want to do on the computer, including load the trunk show video on YouTube. So I'm going to do that now and see where I'm kind of at with breakfast by then. And then what else am I doing today? I'm definitely packaging up orders. I have a few Etsy orders that have to go out today. I have some mystery mini skein orders to go out. If you haven't checked out my mystery mini skein listings, I have a 10 gram and a 5 gram listings out there. You choose the number of skeins you get in your mini skein set, and it's a mystery. They're usually pretty random. Those have been selling like hotcakes, so if you're interested, definitely go and check those out. So I have a few orders for that need to go out. I have a few orders for the trunk show that are ready to go out, and I want to get those, kind of keep those going out as well. And then I think I'm ahead on Etsy orders too, so I can send those out. Essentially what I've been doing is for orders that are kind of due, the first one's due, I write down which colors I need to dye for that, and then I go through all my remaining current outstanding orders and dye up all the skeins in that color, which has been working well given that I have this high volume. And yeah, so I think today I'm gonna probably be dyeing, I forget what's on my dye list today. I think I have to dye a spring rainbow gradient, I know I have some fairy shadow gradients in orders. I have some denim, speckled orchid, my new color, speckled orchid, and orange sorbet. I definitely have upcoming. Not sure if they'll happen today or tomorrow. So yeah, after this I will do some planning on that. Hello, it is quite a while later and I haven't finished my breakfast yet. This is the problem of me doing work while I eat, is that I then don't eat. So I have cold oatmeal and cold coffee, and yeah, so I just finished posting the YouTube video of the trunk show, so if you haven't already, please go check that out. And then I also just did some Instagram and Facebook posts, so if you don't follow me on either of those, please do. I'm at A Girl in Her Wool on Instagram and A Girl in Her Wool, facebook.com/agirlinherwool. So at this point, I'm going to finish up breakfast and go get started on the day. I think I'm going to prep what needs to get dyed today and wind those skeins off, and then see what time it is then, and start dyeing probably before lunch, and then finish up later. So you will see some of that throughout the day. All right, talk to you later. Bye. Hey everyone, so you would have just seen a time lapse of me winding off some skeins. Skeins up some skeins. I had some minis ready to go, and they go. So kind of part of my process is once yarn is dried, it then comes down here. I wind it into skeins and I put it into one of my cubbies over there. Once I am then ready to ship, you know what, we'll talk about that later when I do ship. So for now, I wound some skeins and I put them into that cubby there. That means they're ready to go. I then check off on each order's post-it that it is down here and ready to go. If you haven't seen how I kind of do orders, what happens is I print out an order from Etsy, and that ends up being the package that my husband is running outside and he's about to come in. So if I have a quick pause, that's why. Once an order comes in, I print out the order and then I take a post-it. And I've updated this since I've last told you, is I bought a multicolor pack, so each color represents which day it needs to ship. And then I just recycle the colors as the days move on. And so I take the order and I just write down what I need to wind for each order, what needs to get dyed, and then I have a section at the top for each item in the order. And then as it's down here, that's when I check it off that it's ready to go, and then I put the ship by date. If I have skeins already dyed and ready to ship, it just wouldn't be in the wound and the dye section, but I would still list it kind of in this top section and check it off. So you can, here he is. But you can see in this one, I had 2 skeins that I needed to wind. I've already wound them, dyed them. They're still upstairs drying, so they're not down here yet, and I have to ship this one by Friday. But this one actually will go out today. Okay, so I did pause there. So again, that's kind of how I do that post-it system. That has been working really well, and it actually was a great test run this past week or two because I have had a huge influx of orders through Etsy as well as through the trunk show. So thank you again for everyone who has been ordering. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, so the post-it system was great for getting me organized and through this busy time. So this stack here, these are orders that are ready to go. All the yarn is either down here or it is upstairs drying still, but I know I'll be able to package up these orders and get them out today. So there's 10 orders there that I will get out, which will be amazing. And then I just have them stacked here based on when they need to go out. So if you are familiar with my shop, most of my yarn is custom dye just because of the any size skein. I might be looking to change that in the future just because of how busy things have been getting. But I typically had a 3-day turnaround time, meaning that if you ordered on Monday, your order would go out by Thursday, the latest. But I've had to increase that to 5 days, so that gives me a little bit extra time. It also helps if like a skein doesn't quite come out right and I need to fix something about it. It just gives me a little extra time, and it also gives me extra time to get it kind of packaged up and shipped, because that, you'll see later, takes time as well. All right, so what I have here, these are all my zip ties that I use for my skeins, and I just have them organized. Okay, so I'm gonna wind skein. So what I did was, again, those are orders all ready to go. So my next batch that I want to get out are these trunk show orders that I've had here. The Etsy orders don't need to go out until like Monday or Tuesday. It's only Wednesday of the previous week, so I have some time. So what I did was I went through the orders that I still have open for the trunk show and looked at what colors they still need dyed. I did dye a whole lot of them yesterday, so a lot of it is done. Again, Pebbles in the River was a popular purchase. That's again my best-selling colorway, so I did a ton of that yesterday. Again, what I'm going to show you is I'm prepping all the skeins. So I actually won't really be, I'll have to wind a little bit, but I have a few BFL sock orders, so that's what's happening today. So this one will be for Speckled Orchid, and then I need 3 others, so hold on. Okay, and my BFL sock base does not come on cones, which means that it'll only be available in skeins up to 100 grams or 400 yards. And so keep an eye out for that. Right now you can only get this base through the trunk show at knitcheap.com. But eventually, 1, 2, 3. But eventually you'll be able to get it in my shop in your any size skein, but only up to 100 grams. So I don't actually need to wind BFL. Well, this order was, the trunk show I only sold it in 100 gram skeins, so I don't need to do that. So when I get the yarn from the supplier, it comes with ties on them. But they're very loose ties, which is really good for dyeing because you don't get kind of, if you tie the ties too tight, the dye can't get into it and you end up with white splotches, which actually is really nice for some colors. If you're going for a tonal look, it helps out with that. So for some, that's kind of a dyeing technique, is to tie them a little too tight. But I end up always putting my own tie on there. Just to help secure it a little bit. I find sometimes with these strands can still kind of make their way out, so I like to put 1 tie on there. And then for larger skeins I use 2 zip ties, and that one is ready to go. I actually had one ready to go the other day that I ended up not dyeing yet, so yeah. So I think the trunk show went pretty well. I didn't know what to kind of expect from, we talked about the format and we had a plan, we had a slideshow, that way everyone could see photos of the pictures in case lighting wasn't so good. The names of the colors were up on there. You can probably see my cats battling. So that way we didn't want to keep interrupting the show to kind of repeat what color it was every time. And I think that part went really well. Kind of going into it personally, I didn't know if there would be a lot of questions. If there would be people who did want to ask a lot of questions and it would be more conversational, or if it would be more me presenting. So I kind of caught on that it was definitely more presenting, which was fun and it went well. So now it's just about getting those orders out, which has been different. If it had been a live trunk show, you know, I would have just brought the yarn in, it would have sold, and then I would have taken home what didn't sell. And so it was a different style, and I think it taught us a lot of what we could do. I could definitely see myself hosting kind of live sales or shows kind of like that. You know, it allows for more reach. People who aren't in New Jersey or local here could shop the yarn, could shop with a Knit Sheep Yarns, and from their own home, and maybe they were in California, which is nice, pretty cool to think about. So anyway, it was a lot of fun. If you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out. Again, this is my new BFL sock base. It's a 2-ply high twist base. It's really sturdy. The BFL is really sturdy. It's still super soft and comfortable. So if you love if you love making socks, this is really good sock yarn, and I definitely recommend it for that. And yeah, so now what I'm gonna do before I lose track, I just want to check off that I wound those. No, because I did one. Okay. All right, and then so the last thing that I need to wind off is, and I actually do need to wind this. This is going to be for my spring rainbow gradient. So I'll probably just show you this for a little bit. It'll get pretty repetitive. I have to do this for a gradient set, so I have to do 10 skeins that are 10 grams each. And so like before, I just get my cotton ties ready. But essentially, I have a couple of listings for mystery mini skeins, and I have them as 10 gram and 5 gram mystery mini skeins, and then you just pick how many you want in your set. So I've had people order 1 or 2, and I've had people order 10, and it's just a matter of preference. Those sell really quickly. I try to keep the quantity up, and essentially what they were originally were skeins from when I was learning how to dye and testing dyes out and that whole thing. And I decided to just list them to see if people wanted the mystery minis, and my original batch sold so quickly that ever since then I will just wind off extra 10 gram mini skeins either when I get to the end of a cone, or if I'm just, you know, if I'm winding 10 gram minis like I am right now, maybe I'll just do 11 or 12, and then I just throw a couple in with some of the colors that I'm already dyeing. I try to make sure that they get a good variety, so I try not to do like repeats. So for example, yesterday I was dyeing up the neon unicorn skein, and I threw some extras in there. So like, I'm not gonna want someone to get these two together because they're the same. They're basically the same. Or like to get these two. They're not the same in the gradient, but if you're getting a mystery mini, it's kind of nicer to have different combinations. So while it is a mystery grab bag, I also do try to give a good variety, or at least make sure they somewhat coordinate if someone does want to put them together, but I assume they're mostly for scrap blankets. So I think what I'll do after this is probably package up the orders that I have here that I can package up. Like I'll put the ball bands on all of the, I'm not paying attention. Okay, so I will probably get the ball bands and everything packaged up. So I'll show you that process. I'll see if some of those, by the time that's done, probably some of those skeins that were a little damp where the zip tie was will probably be dry. So then I can package up some orders. I probably won't, you know, have you with me while I package up all of them. Actually, one more, I don't know if I said this, one more is ready to go. Right, because I showed you the speckled orchid. So I'll actually be able to get 11 orders out today, which is awesome. That's how my scheduling planning brain works. I'm going to finish winding up these skeins. I'm probably going to go get them soaking, but I probably won't dye them until after lunch. And then I will be packaging orders for the rest of this morning. This is actually working out really well. I think I got a lot done yesterday, and it's just like really allowing me to I'm like hardcore not paying attention on this. Okay. I think that taking these 2 days off from work were really helpful. So what I'm trying to say here is that I'm hoping to record my Wednesday knitting project. Sorry, I'm like not good at double tasking apparently. I'm hoping I can get out that video, record a video today with my knitting projects. And yeah, so look for that to come out soon. I didn't know if I would have time today. I haven't really been knitting so much, but I have a lot of projects that I'm finishing up, which means that I'm going to be in a planning session soon. And I'm going to have probably a Saturday post, or maybe it already posted, about that soon. I have a lot of recorded footage already. And then I will talk about those today. I think the upcoming ones that I have like the yarn for that I plan to cast on soon. So look for that. So I'll probably show you some packaging orders and putting ball bands on. It'll probably be a time-lapse video. So I will check in with you later. Bye. Hey everyone, I am back. It's almost 2 o'clock. I have my afternoon cup of coffee here and just filling you in on what I've done so far. So you last saw me, all the yarn is wound. I actually have to go soak it. So after I check in here, I'm gonna go soak the yarn and then come back. But I finished labeling all the yarn that's gonna go out today. With the ball bands and everything, and then I printed out all the shipping labels, so they're all on here. I just don't want to show the addresses. So I have 10 orders going out. I think I mentioned 11, but I actually have one of those orders, which is for this rainbow skein. She actually also ordered through the trunk show, and I need to dye up that yarn still. So that order won't go out today. It'll probably go out tomorrow. So I actually don't need this one out right now. But I do have 10 orders that are going out. So again, the yarn is all here and wound up. I printed the labels. For the Etsy labels, you know, that is my normal process through my shop. For the trunk show labels, I don't have the orders because they were done through the yarn store and Knit Sheep. And so for those, I actually signed up for like a trial account on stamps.com, and I'm using that. So it's just a new software to me, and I think it takes me a little bit longer. I also have to manually enter the addresses, and I like check that 10 times. So yeah, and again, I'm manually entering them because I'm not actually the one receiving the orders. So those are now all done, and then right as I was finishing that up, my husband came out ready for lunch, so we just took our lunch break. And yeah, so this afternoon I'm going to get these all packaged up, and you'll see a little bit of that. But yeah, I am gonna go soak that yarn, so when I'm done packaging up these orders, the yarn will be ready to start dyeing. I wanted to show you, so in each of my orders, I include this thank you card. I'm not sure if I've shown it on a vlog yet. This is kind of newer for me. I used to have like a small business card that I included, but I have this on here, and it just has some of my links. And then in this blank space, I put in the thank you note. So I do have to write up 10 of these. That will take me a bit of time. But I do appreciate each and every order. I do a happy dance with each and every order, and so I like to include this. So I'll probably write those up first, and then you'll kind of see how I stack everything up and get all the orders shipped. Hey everyone, I am back. I just finished writing up all of my thank you notes. So these are all ready to go for the orders that we are shipping out. I have my shipping bags over here, so you can see the smaller bag here, the larger ones are there, and then I have really big ones that are on top of my shelves over there. I am planning to do some sort of organization in here. You can see the room is pretty bare. We moved in a little while ago at this point, but we're still settling in, so eventually like the walls will be painted, and I'm still planning how I want to organize in here. I want to have some sort of like bin set up that has all my ball bands in it, that has these thank you notes in it, and then some sort of shelving type inserts for the shipping bags, so that way I can just kind of grab what I need instead of doing this one at a time thing. But yeah, so I have that out, so I just wanted to show you a bit of that process. So again, you can see here, again, I have this is all the yarn that's gonna get shipped out today. There's a lot kind of buried underneath there. So that's all the yarn that's gonna go out today. And then again, I have my bags there. I have the stacked thank you notes here. And then what I have here are care instruction cards. So if you look at like a regular size skein, has a regular label, it has care instructions on it. For the minis, the ball bands are too small to have that information on there. And so instead, when I send minis out, I send a care instructions card, and it says the same exact thing on here that it does on the regular ball bands, but it just goes in separately with the order. Okay, so again, for that one, I just need a small bag because it's an 80 gram skein. I can fit up to 100 grams in these small bags. I won't do the actual shipping label. So at this point, I would normally do the shipping label, and then I would check that the name on there matches the name on here. And then what I do is I grab what I need for the order. So for this one, it is just the 80 gram skein of 4th and gold. So I just check off the color, the size, and the base. And then I fold this up. And I would take my post-it off of there normally. I put in, I have to remember who this one was for. Okay, we're gonna pretend. So for this one, they just get a thank you note and then the yarn, and then I would package it up and it would go, and I usually actually put it on the chair over there. So it is now 3:45 and I am just now getting around to dyeing yarn. So if anyone thinks that a dyer just dyes and knits all day, it is not true at all. There's so much that goes into the business that is not just dyeing yarn. You saw shipping took me a long time, and again, I'm not full-time at this, and I think that I don't know, the grass is probably always greener, but if I were, maybe I would have more efficiency set up. But for now, I kind of just do what I can. Sorry, I just do what I can when I can. And right now, this is how it goes for me. So actually, when I do work my regular job, now that I'm home full time, I end up starting to dye around now. So around 4 o'clock, I log off of work and start dyeing. So it's not too far off from when I would normally be dyeing. It's just that earlier today I had a ton of those orders to get through, and I did get the trunk show up on YouTube and set up some ads on Instagram and Facebook for that. It was my first time promoting ads on those platforms, so that was new. And then again, I did some orders through Sams.com, which was new. So some things took a little bit longer. So my workday is longer than it is for my kind of office job, but in some ways it's definitely less stressful and nicer. I can watch and listen to podcasts. I can, take my lunch break with my husband because he's home. And, I just ran to the post office, which was really nice. So normally what I do with packages is I put them in my mailbox and my postal worker picks them up every day. But I had 10 packages that I shipped out, so there's no way that would have fit in my mailbox. With the post office, you can schedule pickups, but I wanted them to go out today, so I just drove over there. I'm trying to stay home as much as possible. The only times I leave my house are for the grocery store about every 10 days and the post office on days like this. So I go later in the afternoon. No one's in there. It's a small post office, so I just walk up to the end of the counter that they don't use, and I can pile all my packages up there and then walk out. I just kind of give a little wave to the lady. I think she's starting to recognize me, and go on my merry way. So yeah, it's not ideal to go there right now, but I don't wait in any line. I don't talk to anyone, and I'm in and out in about a minute, however long it takes me to load those packages off. So not ideal, but not the worst thing ever. Again, I usually just have my postal worker pick them up, but with so many, I just wanted to bring them there myself. So yes, I got 10 packages out today, which is amazing, and I'm gonna be dyeing up a spring gradient set, so that's on minis. So I will be doing 2 of them at a time in my little pans, and then I'll be doing an 100-gram skein in this pan, 1 at a time. 3 colors going at once is enough for me. So yeah, I have my list here of what I need to dye. You probably can't read that because of the glare, but I'll be dyeing up a speckled orchid, Before the Rain, Fourth and Gold, and denim. So basically the 3 colors in my Ashbrook shawl, plus a speckled orchid, plus that rainbow gradient. We've been eating dinner around 7 or 7:30, so I have about 3.5 hours to get this done, which I think is way more time than I need, but we will see. And then if it does finish up early, I think I will end up prepping yarn for tomorrow. So tomorrow I go back to regular work, so I won't have as much time to get things done. So if I can wind skeins and have them prepped tonight, that will help if I do dye in the morning before work. Otherwise, for the most part, I've just been dyeing after work. So I think that's what's going to happen. If these are dry, what will probably happen is I'll end up shipping these 2 orders out tomorrow. Again, that just means that I will package them in the morning, and then I'll probably dye the other stuff in the afternoon. So yeah, chugging along. I feel great after taking these 2 days off because I really did catch up on everything, or put a large dent in everything. The only thing I feel behind on is YouTube. So I'm recording this day in the life, which is probably very long, but it was a very busy day. And then I just have to get back on track with YouTube. So hopefully in the next week or 2, that's back on schedule, and we'll see. So I might show you skeins here and there, but I'm not going to do a time lapse of me dyeing because I like to watch YouTube videos while I'm dyeing to kind of zone out and not have to worry about the camera. So I will check in when everything is drying and show you what I've done. Bye. Hey everyone, I am back. Just gonna try and switch my hands here. Okay, so I am back. I finished dyeing. It's now like 7:15. I finished probably an hour ago. It's all still either soaking in soapy water or still letting it cool and set. So I will throw in a little clip at the end of everything I dyed so you can see. But I wanted to let you know I did just film a podcast video. It is my work in progress video. I actually did it twice. I did it once, and right at the very end, my computer shut off, or my phone shut off and said I was out of storage. So I did it really quickly, and I talked really fast and whipped through it. Get it? That's where we're at. So anyway, it's now 7:15. The cats are hungry. I'm hungry. And I wanted to just show you the aftermath of filming this video. So that's the chair that I sit in. It's usually tilted diagonally, but when I podcast, I move it just to get the sun out of it. And then let's just pan down. So there's my tripod, and why does it not move? There's a pile of yarn and projects on the floor. So yeah, that's what it looks like after the fact. Is it time to watch TV? Who's got the remote today?